Why do people who are afraid of nature move to Arkansas, the natural state? If you're just going to try and make it look like where you came from, why not just go back? This is a feeling you hear a lot from multi-generational families here in the Ozarks. It gets right to the heart of a conflict that has been around forever. The tension between preserving what makes this place special and developing it for profit. So why does this clash of cultures happen so often here? First, there's the aesthetic versus the reality. A lot of folks move to the Ozarks because they fell in love with a picture-perfect version of the natural state. They want the breathtaking view from the porch, but they aren't ready for the real grit that comes with it. We're talking ticks, chiggers, flash floods, rocky soil that'll break your back, and a level of isolation that can be pretty intense. When that raw, untamed nature becomes inconvenient, their first instinct is to fix it. Suddenly, they're pushing for paved roads, street lights, and clearing all the brush. Before you know it, they've started turning the Ozarks into the very suburbs they were trying to escape. Then you have the investor mindset. Outside investors look at the Ozarks and don't see a community. They see undervalued land. To a local, that hillside is where their grandpa taught them to hunt, a family legacy passed down for generations. To an investor, it's a short-term rental opportunity or the perfect spot for a luxury glamping site. This brings a whole host of problems. As these fancy developments pop up, property values and taxes skyrocket, sometimes pushing out the very people who have owned their land for a century. And what about those traditional handshake agreements? The ones that let your neighbor hunt or fish on your land? They disappear. The second a corporation buys the plot and throws up no trespassing signs everywhere. The community access and trust that defined this place starts to erode. And let's talk about what some people call the colonial attitude. This is a special kind of frustration reserved for those who move to the Ozarks and immediately start trying to change the local culture and laws to match wherever they came from. You hear it all the time, the classic "Don't California, my Arkansas." They complain about the gravel roads, which are a part of life here. They try to shut down local traditions, like roosters crowing or a neighbor's bonfire, because it's too loud or unkempt. It doesn't feel like someone is joining a community. It feels like they're invading it, trying to impose their own rules on a place they don't understand. So, why don't they just stay away? Well, it's usually because the Ozarks offer something that's vanishing elsewhere. A higher quality of life for a much lower cost of living. The irony is just staggering. They come seeking that untouched raw beauty, but in the process of seeking it, they end up touching it, taming it, and ultimately changing it forever. The Ozarks have always been a refuge for people, a place to escape, but there's a huge difference between someone who comes to join the hills and live with them and someone who comes to conquer and tame them. I'm curious what you all think. Is there a specific town or area in the Ozarks you feel has been hit the hardest by this kind of change lately? Or is this something you're seeing happen everywhere? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.